Hello, how are you? My name is Tom, and if you're just joining us, you may not know what happened to me the last time I was here. That night, my wife caught me with her father, my father-in-law, in the backyard of our house. It was there, by the pool, with the lights suddenly turned on and her eyes frozen on the scene, that everything fell apart. If you don't know the story yet, I recommend you go back and watch part 1. The link is here in the description. Now, if you already know, then stay here with me. When I woke up that day, Alexandra was already up. He didn't say anything. He just looked at me for a moment and then turned toward the window of the inn as if he already knew it was time to go back. We needed to face what had happened. I took a deep breath, got dressed, and we headed to the car. I could barely breathe. My heart was beating so hard it hurt in my chest. I was having an anxiety attack, the kind that tightens your stomach and makes the world seem too small for you to fit in. On the way back home, there was almost no conversation. Alexandra drove in silence, and I could only look out the window, trying to imagine what I would say, what would happen, how to look her in the eyes. The road seemed longer than ever. Every curve, every sign, every traffic light, everything passed slowly, as if time was also afraid of what lay ahead. When we finally arrived, the front gate was ajar. We got out slowly. The silence was strange. It seemed too heavy. We entered through the kitchen door, and there she was, sitting at the table, head held high, with a cup of coffee in her hands, her eyes fixed on us from the moment we walked through the door. She didn't get up. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. But her gaze said it all. Then Alexandra started. "Daughter," he said, his voice low, firm, but heavy with guilt. "I want to apologize for what you saw, but before anything else, I need to say, nothing happened. I insisted, yes. But at the last moment, guilt took over, and we gave up. Tom wasn't to blame for anything. It was all my fault." She didn't even blink. She gripped the cup tighter, looked straight at him, and replied in a cold voice. "I want to hear it from him." She turned her gaze to me, her eyes steady, hard, almost cutting. "Come on, Tom. You tell her." I swallowed hard. My hands were sweating. The floor seemed unstable. "Your father is right," I said, my voice trembling. "Nothing happened," he insisted. "Yes, I let myself get carried away, but we felt guilty and gave up. I don't expect you to forgive me, because there's no forgiveness. But I swear, it wasn't my fault." She gave a sarcastic smile, the kind of smile that has no humor, only pain. And then she said, with cruel calm, "You too. Get your things and get out of my house." She paused, and before turning her face away, she added, "And do me a favor. Don't ever come back." I took a deep breath. I could hardly speak, but I said anyway, "Okay, I respect your opinion." She didn't answer. She just looked away, as if she had already said everything she needed to say. I went to my room in silence. I grabbed my things. Everything I could. Some clothes, documents, whatever fit in my backpack. The rest, I left behind. The house felt strange. Every corner now reminded me of what I had lost. The smell, the pictures on the wall, the sheet she had changed the day before. Everything was silent and empty. When I returned to the living room, Alexandra was still there. We didn't exchange a word, not even a glance. I just walked past him, with my backpack on my back, and left. I don't know what they talked about after that. I don't know what he said to her. And, at that moment, honestly, I didn't even know if I wanted to know. I left that house with a lump in my throat, my heart in pieces, and the feeling that I had nowhere to go back to. I got on the highway and drove aimlessly. My head was spinning, 1,000 thoughts at once, 1,000 unanswered questions, a hole in my chest that seemed to grow with every mile. My cell phone rang in the middle of the trip. It was Alexandra. I looked at the screen for a few seconds and let it ring. I didn't answer. I didn't want to talk to him, not now, not after everything. I just wanted distance. I wanted to get away from that neighborhood, that city, that life. I wanted to start over, even if I didn't know how. In the late afternoon, I arrived in a city I already knew. I had spent a few days there years ago, on business. It was small, quiet, and at that moment, it seemed exactly what I needed. I rented a room in a simple, discreet hotel, without asking many questions. Since I worked online, my routine wouldn't change that much. I could still meet deadlines, respond to clients, maintain the facade of an orderly life even if everything was falling apart inside. I put my clothes in the small wardrobe in the room, took a quick shower, and fell into bed, exhausted. I called the front desk and asked for something to eat. Anything. It didn't matter. I passed out for a few minutes, maybe hours, I don't even know. I woke up to the sound of the doorbell. I got up, still groggy. I went to the door. It was dinner. The attendant handed me a tray and wished me good night. I just nodded in thanks, took the food, and closed the door. The room was silent. Only the dim light of the lamp was on. I sat on the edge of the bed, looking at the food without feeling hungry, thinking that, even though I was far away, the weight was still there. I ate dinner slowly, almost without appetite. I just wanted to put something in my stomach so I wouldn't faint. Then I took another shower and went straight to bed. I thought the exhaustion would knock me out for good, but it didn't. In fact, I slept poorly. I woke up all the time. I sweated, dreamed of confusing scenes, familiar faces, cutting words. When day broke, I was more tired than before. It felt like a hangover, but it wasn't just physical, it was spiritual. I got up feeling heavy. I took another shower, went down to the hotel breakfast, ate almost in silence, listening to other people's conversations without paying attention to any of them. Then, I went back to my room, sat down in front of my laptop, and started looking for an apartment to rent. I wanted a place of my own, a place where I could start over. But every ad I opened seemed wrong. Either it was too far away, too small, or too empty. Nothing felt right. No place gave me a sense of shelter. And the truth is, maybe the problem wasn't the place. Maybe it was me. More than a month passed. And I couldn't take that routine anymore. Every day was exactly the same. I woke up, took a shower, went down for breakfast, went back to my room, and threw myself into work. I answered clients, delivered projects, met deadlines. At lunchtime, I went downstairs, ate in silence, and went back up again. In the afternoon, I worked a little more, then walked alone through the square near the hotel. Always the same square, the same benches, the same trees. And at the end of the day, I went back to my room. Always alone. Always in silence. It was killing me inside. It wasn't loneliness. It was emptiness. A kind of anesthesia that was slowly taking over me, as if each day stole a small piece of who I was. I needed to get out of there. Urgently. During that time, Alexandra never disappeared. He sent me messages almost every day, always wanting to know where I was, if I was okay, if I needed anything. And I would reply. Always curtly, always saying the bare minimum. I'm fine. Everything's okay. Don't come over. He said he wanted to see me, that he missed me, that he just wanted to talk, look into my eyes, hear my voice. But I wasn't ready. It still hurt. It still confused me. It still haunted me. So I always replied the same thing. Not now. I'm not in the mood. Give me some time. And he respected that. At least that. One day, I received a message from the real estate agent who was helping me look for an apartment. He started by saying that he still hadn't found anything like what I wanted. But then he added something that made my heart beat faster. I have a house you might like. It's a little bigger, has a backyard, and even a pool. Right away, I got excited. It had been a long time since I had felt that way desire. Curiosity. A certain sparkle. We made plans to go see it the next day. I woke up early, took a shower, went down for breakfast, and headed straight to the meeting place. When I arrived and saw the house for the first time, It was as if something inside me breathed differently. It was beautiful, simple, but with personality. It was the right size, a spacious, well-kept yard, and a good-sized pool in the back, surrounded by rocks and small trees. The house had just been renovated. New paint, modern windows, bright rooms. I didn't think twice. I made an offer right there at the gate, and less than an hour later, the real estate agent called me to say that the owner had accepted. At that moment I knew. It was time to leave the hotel. I needed to start over, breathe new air, live in a place that could, little by little, feel like home. That same day, I gathered my things, checked out, and went straight to my new home. For the first time, in a long time, I felt like I was starting over. The house was fully furnished. Everything was brand new, ready to use. So, on the first day, I just had to stop by the supermarket and buy the essentials: food, cleaning supplies, some toiletries. I came back in the late afternoon with bags full and my soul lighter. I organized everything calmly. I opened the windows. I let the wind in. And when night fell, I lay down on my new bed, with clean sheets, the room silent, and for the first time in a long time, I felt at peace. I was feeling at home again. That's when my cell phone vibrated. I looked at the screen. It was a message from Alexandra. "Hi, my beautiful. How are you? I miss you." I read the message slowly, took a deep breath, and for the first time in weeks, I replied sincerely. "Hi, Alexandra. I'm fine. I miss you too." His reply came almost instantly. "Can we meet up?" I was silent for a few seconds, staring at the screen, and then I asked, "How are things with your daughter? Did you guys work things out?" The answer came quickly, as if he had been waiting for it. "We're fine, yes." After a lot of talking, she forgave me. She said, "Dad, be happy. It doesn't matter who it is. I'm seeing someone and I don't hold a grudge against anyone." At that moment, I felt relieved. Really. I wanted her to be happy. Really. Without any burdens, without any pain. And now, maybe, for the first time, I could think about being happy too. So I wrote, "Do you want to come over this weekend?" The answer came almost immediately. "Yes, I'd love to. Can you send me your address?" I copied the address, pasted it into the message, and sent it. He viewed it. He typed something, and then stopped. He didn't insist, didn't ask anything else, as if he understood that, for now, that was enough. I put my phone on the nightstand, turned off the light, and lay down on my side. I closed my eyes. And, for the first time since everything happened, I slept without a weight on my chest. Sleeping, waiting for someone. Sleeping, waiting for him. The weekend arrived faster than I expected. On Saturday afternoon, around 5 o'clock, I heard a car parking in front of my house. I went to the window. It was him. Alexandra got out with his usual calm demeanor. He was wearing a simple t-shirt, jeans, and that slight smile on his face, the same one that always disarmed me. He approached with quiet steps and, without saying a word, hugged me. I hugged him back. The hug lasted a few seconds longer than necessary, but it wasn't uncomfortable, it was comforting, almost like saying, "I'm here, with your body." We went inside. The house smelled like freshly brewed coffee. I left the door open, as if to say, "You can come in, you can stay." We sat down in the living room. We talked. No rush. No script. We talked about the house, about the city, about how I was adapting to the new routine. He spoke looking into my eyes, in that low tone, closer to care than seduction. For a while, we were just two men trying to find each other again. With silence, with pauses, with light questions. But with the same feeling as always, pulsing there, quiet, between one word and another. Later, we had dinner together. The conversation remained light, natural, as if, little by little, the time apart was being filled again, with small moments together. After washing the dishes and the house was quiet, we went to the living room. We sat on the couch, side by side, and put on a movie One of those movies you don't choose for the plot, but for the comfort of being accompanied. The light came only from the screen. The rest of the house was in darkness. At one point, he approached me. Without rushing, he turned his face toward me and kissed me. It was a calm kiss, but full of restrained desire. A kiss that didn't ask for permission, but didn't demand anything either. It was just surrender. And in that moment, I understood. I understood that this was what I needed. His touch, his presence, the way he looked at me. That kiss made me feel alive again. Alive and desired. Our bodies understood each other before words did. The movie was forgotten. The night fell silent. And right there, on the couch, we made love. With tenderness, with contained urgency, with a kind of pleasure that goes beyond the physical. It was different from anything we had ever experienced before. Because this time, it wasn't just lust. It was a reunion. It was as if we were truly choosing each other for the first time. The following Sunday, Alexandra returned home, and the silence he left behind seemed to fill every space in mine. It was strange how, in such a short time, his presence had become part of my routine, my body, my thoughts. I missed him quickly. I wanted him to be close again. The desire was calmer, but still intense. The weeks went by, and from time to time he would come back. He would spend the weekends with me, and with each new visit, it seemed that the connection between us grew even deeper, as if we were discovering together a new way of living, of touching, of caring. It wasn't just the sex that united us, although it remained intense and real. It was also the way he looked at me, the calm he brought when he entered the house, the way he laughed at little things, as if he were there with me, exactly where he was supposed to be. And as I realized this, more and more clearly, a certainty began to grow inside me. That weekend, while he was sitting on the couch with his bare feet and a glass of water in his hand, I slowly approached him and sat down next to him. The moment seemed simple, but I knew the weight of what I was about to say. I looked into his eyes and spoke sincerely, without beating around the bush but with my heart exposed. Love, I need to tell you something. What we have is too good to be confined to these weekends. It doesn't make sense anymore for you to come and go as if you were visiting. I want more. I want you here with me, every day. Do you want to live with me? Do you want to be my partner for the rest of my life? He looked at me for a few seconds, as if trying to confirm in my features that it was really true. A smile formed slowly, shyly, almost suspiciously, until he let out a slightly choked voice. I don't believe it. Are you serious? I nodded, without taking my eyes off his. I'm serious. I've never been more serious in my entire life. Only then did his smile spread across his face. And what came next wasn't just an answer. It was relief, a gentle joy that filled everything between us. I accept, with all my heart. It will be wonderful to be your partner for the rest of my life. A few days after that conversation, he moved in. And that's how we started living together officially, as a couple. Of course, it wasn't all perfect. We had difficult days, like any couple, obstacles, hard conversations, silly jealousy, but also lessons learned, long hugs after a disagreement, silences that turned into bridges. The truth is that despite everything, we never had any doubts about the essential. At the end of the day, it's him and me. And whatever comes up, we work it out. Always in the best way possible. Together. Today we've been together for exactly 8 years. 8 years since that forbidden kiss in the backyard, since all that mess. And look where we are now. We're happy. Really happy. 2 years ago we adopted a dog. A caramel-colored mutt full of energy and affection who became our darling. We named him Teddy. Alexandra is always saying that Teddy looks just like me. And I honestly agree. He has the same begging look, the same habit of sleeping crooked on the couch, and perhaps the same desire to be loved in the simplest and most genuine way. And that's it. We don't live a fairy tale, but we live something real, with all that means. And if there's one thing I've learned from all this, it's that love sometimes appears in the most unlikely places. And when it does, we just need to have the courage to hold on tight and never let go. And that was the last chapter of our story. I sincerely hope it inspires you. May it remind you that it's worth living a great love without fear, without reservations. May it encourage you to give yourself completely, to love as if every day were your last. Because the truth is, we never know when it will be the last hug, the last kiss, or the last, I love you. And when that day comes, because it will come, may you look back with a light heart, and with the certainty that you truly loved. With much love and affection, from Tom, Alexandra, and, of course, Teddy.